folks. How are you? This is Truth Speaker again with a quick vid on still Black Lives Matter. I would like to add is Dr.Ben Carson, the only African American Republican presidential candidate, chimed in, so to speak. And, well, I'll just put it this way. He blasted Black Lives Matter. And this is what he said. This is a little brief synopsis. Dr.Ben Carson said, they are, in other words, fighting in the wrong direction. Do they actually think interrupting Senator Bernie Sanders' speech in such a rude and disgusting way would actually help the Black Lives Matter movement? By the way, the Black Lives Matter movement has already split it up into different groups. But in this aspect, I agree with Dr.Ben Carson. There's being rude and vulgar and just snatching the microphone and taking over his platform. Do you think that do you actually think that would benefit Black Lives Matter? You tried the same thing with Hillary Clinton, and that just didn't work. The Secret Service stopped you. Even Hillary Clinton, she said, if you don't hear it, she's going to go out there and tell the people where they're going. Because you asked her the wrong question. What type of plan would she put together to change people's hearts and minds? Let me tell you something. You cannot legislate morality. Caesar couldn't do it, and neither can anybody else. It's just not going to happen. You cannot make a person. And let me tell you, I'll put it to you this way, look. How intelligent a person is has nothing to do with their morals or their character. It has nothing to do with the other. History has proven that over and over and over again. World War II was not started by idiots, if you know what I mean. I mean, they were very intelligent people. And also, Peggy Hubbard blasts Black Lives Matter. I mean, she went at them very hard. She said, in other words, in order before you clean up somebody else's house, make sure you clean up your own. She said right there, and I agree with this aspect of what she said. Right down the block from where they're protesting, not too far, right in Ferguson, a 9-year-old girl on the bed doing her homework was killed. Nobody went down there and marched. We need to stop and clean our own house. That's a child's, all her life, her aspirations for the future, everything died with that little girl. Do you understand how important this is? Do you know how many people, how many black on black crime, how much violence, how many black people have been murdered by other black just in the month of August? Just in Chicago and Detroit, and forget about Baltimore, the numbers are astronomical. Just in the past 25 days. I'm not even going to mention the figure, I know it. See, I've already done research before I've done the CF. Let me tell you something. We are making ourselves look like buffoons and idiots. And it's embarrassing. It's just not right. We have to clean our own house. We have to march and protest black on black violence. Let's clean up our own house before we start accusing all the police. But let me tell you something. Like Peggy Hubbard said, we're marching up and down for people who've been. Now there is police profiling and violence. Yes, we know that. But you're marching for people that broke the law, and someone, I've read that he even attacked the cops. Really? Really? If we are to be taken seriously, we have to stop this buffoonery. thieves and stick-up kids? Really? Somebody shot at a cop. The cop shot back, and you're going to march and burn down the neighborhood? March in your own neighborhood for that? Really? Do you even know who's supporting you? Do you know who's supporting Black Lives Matter? Where does this money come from? A lot of you will be quite shocked. If we are to have or make any progress in it, we have to sit down and plan a strategy. You don't go attacking people that's trying to help you. You don't go attacking people that are fighting for justice. You see what Hillary Clinton did, right? Hillary Clinton stopped. She stopped in your tracks. The little small meeting that you had. And you were going to interrupt her meeting. But the Secret Service wasn't going to have it. You know, sometimes you feel, and I'm against violence and all, sometimes you feel like when you're going up to somebody who doesn't mean you're any good, you're wasting time. Because you don't know what the heck you're talking about. That's not the way to do it. And then when you went and approached Bernie Sanders, because you know you were not going to go to Donald Trump, and you can forget about Rand Paul or Lindsey Graham. That's just out of the question. Sometimes you feel like, get off the stage. But no, that's it. Just joking. When you go to Bernie Sanders and deliberately interrupt this man, and this man is fighting for middle-class American, all Americans. You know, I've heard people say that, get off the stage. You have to know who your enemy is. You don't attack friends, okay? Let me tell you a little secret. No, I won't do that. That's for another video. We're going to be permanent, not second-class, third-class citizens in our own country. And we're heading toward there fast. You don't even know whose money is supporting you, do you? Every day, people are getting murdered in Detroit, Chicago, or Baltimore. And right now, Baltimore's in the lead. The numbers are astronomical just for the last 25 days. But not one person, not one Black Lives Matter, Al Sharpton or anybody else has took their behind out there to do a march to stop black-on-black violence. Now, when you roll that around a little bit, it doesn't take, you don't have to have the intellect of a rocket scientist. Just think about it. When you think about it a little bit, does that make sense? Sure, you're supposed to fight against violence. Sure, you're supposed to fight against police profiling and killing unarmed African Americans and unarmed people, period. But you have to clean your own house first. By the way, did you see those 3 Americans in France? 2 white guys and 1 African American? They didn't wait for the color. They didn't say, oh, you're white, or he's brown, or he's... No. They said they were all friends. See, that's what Americans are about. That is what Americans are about. They didn't even see the color of each other's friends, the color of their skin. They saw a job. They saw this terrorist was about to open up and kill a large amount of people. And what do? They attack head on. That's what you do with a problem. You attack it. They didn't sit down there and watch the enemy attack or get ready to kill somebody and attack each other. Hell, that would have been stupid as hell, wouldn't it? But in essence, that's what you're partially doing. You're attacking the wrong problem. Do you understand? God bless those 3 Americans over there. On that high-speed train to Paris, they jumped in and saved lives. They jumped in. One at a time. The other guy took his, well, I don't want to say that on what he did, but he kept on fighting, and the other 2 jumped in. They all 3 took this clown down. He would have killed a lot of people. And nobody would have marched. Just like nobody marched for that little 9-year-old girl on the bed right there in Ferguson doing her own homework. Just like no one marched for that 81 and a 93-year-old Tuskegee airman was robbed and carjacked. Nobody, a World War II vet. Nobody marched for him. Really? Is this what we've come to? Foolishness and stupidity and ridiculousness and buffoonery. We have to pray, give our lives to God, and get direction and know who the enemy is, then attack. But let's clean our own house first. It's the white man. No, it's not. Hell no, it ain't. Let's clean our own house. Let's march against black on black violence. What did Reverend Jesse Jackson say? When he was walking down the block a long time ago, I'm just going to cut to it. He was walking down the block and he was overjoyed when he looked behind and found out it was a white man. Because he knew if it was a black person, they would have stuck him up and they would have did about 10 or 15 years in jail if they didn't get themselves killed and then kill him also. Folks, pray for America because we are going. America is disappearing as we know it. And our freedoms are being taken away by our enemy that's in our midst while we foolishly point fingers at each other. Pray for them and pray for, just pray for all Americans. Lord knows we need it. God bless.